Hello and welcome to Blossom Moon. Today's video starts in the garden. It's summertime here where I live in North Wales and all the flowers are in bloom, as you can see behind me with the sweet peas. So I've been spending a lot of time in the garden and really enjoying the flowers. I'm feeling inspired to make something with flowers. So I think I'm going to have a look through all of my fabrics and find the prettiest floral prints I can find and see what I can make. As you can see from the fabric on the shelves, I have plenty to choose from. The vast majority of stuff is vintage bedding and linens. I don't have a specific plan apart from the fact that I'm going to make a quilt. I'm particularly inspired by the pink and blue flowers in the garden at the moment, so those are the colours that I'm going to pull off the shelves and audition for this hodgepodge throw it together quilt project. This fabric is from a vintage Sanderson duvet and it's my absolute favourite, so I'm definitely including this one. I love the prints on these pillowcases. These definitely deserve a place in the quilt. So this is what I've got hanging up so far. I have to say that I'm really struggling trying to bring this quilt together. I'm not entirely happy with it. Maybe because I'm using such large pieces of fabric and I've not really done that before. So when in doubt, I just like to carry on sewing and hope that the answer comes to me eventually. I decided to make another framed picture to see if that would bring me any more inspiration. Okay, so I've taken everything off the wall and rehung some things, and then I've also had an idea with this piece of fabric. I'm thinking that I could frame this, and then I've got 3 framed pictures in the quilt, and I'm thinking of doing them sort of on the diagonal like that, and then filling in the rest of the spaces and having one of the nice border prints there. Now I've also got another one of these on a sheet that I've got, so I'm wondering whether to cut the other one out and place it there and use them in that way. Either way I'm going to cut it out and we'll see, and maybe it's coming together a bit more. I don't know, this is really just trial and error. So after lots of pondering about the design of this quilt, I think I've come up with a really good solution. I think including both the framed pictures and the border prints was just far too much, and they seem to be clashing and it just didn't fit for me. So I think I'm going to split the border prints and the framed pictures up into 2 separate quilts. So for this blue border print quilt here, I've got this one middle piece here, and then I also have another curtain with the exact same print, and then on a vintage sheet I've got this border here. I've got another one, so I'll just cut those out, place them on the other side, and that can be just a beautiful simple blue and white quilt. And I think the beauty of this quilt will be in the quilting. I think what I will do is try and quilt round every single flower and all of the design elements so that everything sort of pops out and looks kind of 3D. And then as for these here, these framed pictures, I'm going to try and find some more in my stash. I've probably got some more vintage pillowcases and then sort of design elements within vintage sheets. So I'll have a rummage, look for some of those, and then I'll frame those in the same fabric. And then the backdrop to that will be my fabric, which I will find. 1 second. So, it's this way. Is it this way? No, it's this way. So this will be the fabric that I'm going to use as the backdrop. So this will act as the sort of wallpaper. So I think they go really beautifully. So I'm going to place those prints and any additional that I make in a gallery style wall design. And I think that'll be really pretty because I I think since I framed them in that very pastel-y, bluey purple fabric, it's too delicate to go against the darker blue there. And I feel like it needs to be framed by pink to make it stand out, so that's the idea. So this just gives you an idea of what this could possibly look like. I'd perhaps need another 3 or 4 picture frames, or maybe have some smaller ones in there too. And I think that would actually applique these on rather than cut up the beautiful sheet, and that actually does solve that dilemma for me, because I've had this sheet a long time and I've not wanted to cut into it because it's so pretty. So it's not the biggest sheet, but then it's still a good size single, so it's sort of like large lap quilt size, I would say. So here is what my gallery wall quilt is going to look like. I've finished all of my framed floral pictures, and these have been taken from vintage sheets and pillowcases, and I've laid them out in sort of an organised random style, so I think it looks quite effective. I'll show you a close-up of some of the prints. I must say that I'm really thrilled with the way this has turned out. I think it looks really effective. It's very pretty. All of the colours go together really well. So I've decided that this is going to be my final layout. So my next task is to attach all of the pictures, and to do that I'm going to use some heat and seal and attach them as you would with applique, and do raw edge applique stitching around the frames. So this is the fusible webbing product that I'm going to use. I don't know if I've got enough, but I'll go and get some more if needs be. This is a nice lightweight fusible webbing, so I'm hoping that this does the job. So I'm going to start by doing the middle picture. I'm just going to mark with one of these fabric pens just the outside corners so that I know where I'm going to stick it back. So I'll do one on this side. Oops. And in fact, I just might do it for all of them right now. I forgot to add that I'm cutting away all of the tiny little threads so that they don't get caught at the back of the heat and seal. and create any sort of bumps in the fabric. There we go, you can see the glue on the back. So now I'm going to go and stick this on my quilt. I've now got all of my pieces cut from my floral blue and white border print quilt. So I've got the central panel there, the two matching lighter blue panels, and then the two side panels. Those are slightly thinner than the middle one. So I'm going to get all of these sewn together, and then once I finished with the design wall, which is currently occupied, I'm going to hang this all up and see what it looks like. Finally, I've sewn up the blue and white quilt and I've got it hanging up on the design wall so I can step back and see what it looks like. I think it's really nice considering it's made up of two different fabrics. Now it's not quite as long as the gallery wall quilt, as you can see. So I do think I'm going to need to add some borders to give it a bit of extra length. But I've got some of the fabric left from both of those two pieces of fabric. So I'm sure that I can make something up and add those at the end. My two quilt tops are finally done and I'm chuffed to bits with both of them. The blue one needs a little bit more work, but I've had another thought about that actually. I think that I might do some white borders around the edges which are embroidered with some nice blue roses. I think that would give it a very pretty look. So absolutely chuffed to bits with both of these. And they've been really fun to work on. I hope you've enjoyed watching the design process with me and how I came to the final designs. It started off kind of messy, but I got there in the end. I hope you can join me in my next video when I'll probably be doing more work on these two, trying to quilt them, and I don't know, maybe something else. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.